Guys, I put my hands up. I was wrong. Some of you in the comments were right. There totally is more to be said about this guy, which I should have known given he's a man of such infinite talent. Did you know on top of everything else he said he did, he also apparently worked in theater?
I've been buying a lot of props and costume parts, and it's not just, you know, oh, I need a prop to do a video. I don't need props to do videos, but if I have props, it lets me come up with ideas on the spot. It lets me just I've worked in theater a fair bit in the past, and so you learn to improvise.
There is nothing this man hasn't done professionally, except YouTube, of course. He's not a YouTuber. And what is he really, above all else? Well, he's a game dev, which is an element of his character I decided to take a little closer look into. Some of you may be aware that Gerald's game dev claim to fame is that he was the last 3DS dev, and he got a small crumb of attention for his feat of pumping as many games as he could onto the dying console. But that was in 2022-2023. A few years before that, healthier days of the 3DS, Gerald also released his magnum opus, and it is that story we're going to briefly look at today. In January 2020, Sungrand Studios published Silver Falls 3 Down Stars on the Nintendo 3DS. Here's a clip from the trailer. So how'd that work out for him?
I've got to level with you that the game isn't selling real well. And I was really counting on it. I didn't need it to sell millions and millions and millions, but I just need it to sell enough to pay bills and to cover cost of living and things like that. And the game hasn't sold more than 200 copies yet, which doesn't cover the almost 3 years now going on when I've been working on this.
How is this possible? How could his masterpiece have not been a commercial success? Across multiple videos, Gerald gives a few different explanations. In this video, he blames piracy.
I'm getting messages from people online that are sort of laughing in my face and saying, "Ha, thanks for making a 3DS game, I'm going to go pirate it now." And I expected piracy is going to happen, but I didn't expect 3DS users to be so ungrateful to not realize there's a developer who really genuinely cares about people that want to use the 3DS and keep playing 3DS games.
Financial ruin is one thing, but it's the lack of gratitude that really hurts. He also explains that he had trouble getting the word out, found it difficult to get people to promote it.
I haven't been able to get any websites or any YouTubers to play and talk about the game, or to much less review it.
Just a reminder, by the way, this is the guy trying to speak from authority, offering critique like this.
This is my professional assessment of the studio Obsidian. The marketing and PR department is utterly incompetent.
He's doing comedy, but it's not all a joke. He's living out a fantasy where his life went differently. As usual though, I'm going to be as fair as possible. This game he sacrificed his whole life to put out there. Remember that sentence, by the way, it'll become way funnier later. This game he put out in 2020, he did get at least one review. A guy called CJ, writing for Destructoid, gave it 4 out of 10. And here is an excerpt of how the review starts. At least the 3DS still has an extensive back catalogue. Not 3 days after I published my review in progress for Silver Falls 3 Down Stars, the update players had been waiting for dropped. The game-breaking bugs plaguing those who had picked it up were no more, and everyone would be able to see the story through to the end. That is, if they could get past all the new game-breaking bugs the update introduced. Apparently, this thing was a genuine piece of crap. Not just a bad game, not just a game people didn't like, but a broken piece of software. There is a video from Gerald addressing these issues a few days after launch, and I want you to pay attention to the, effing pronouns!
It has come to our attention that there are a number of glitches that players are finding, that some are mostly just aesthetic, and others are quite substantial and are game-breaking, and we do apologize for that. It's quite disheartening for our team because we've poured in thousands of hours of development and hundreds of hours into testing.
We, us, our team. 19 days later, he was still talking about having a team.
At that point I was thinking, what's achievable? Our team is still small, new. We don't have all the experience in the world.
Still mentioning his team, doesn't say anything about it breaking up. He was referring to something that happened in the past, but in this video he was still using first-person plural pronouns, and referred to we and us doing things in the comment section. 2 days after this, though.
I don't have a team now. I'm working on this alone, and
I'm absolutely exhausted because
What happened, big guy? In this video, he explains that he was unable to hire people to be in the office and that he just had some voluntary collaborators. But it sure as hell sounded in previous videos like his connection to these people was a lot more than that, didn't it? This guy has been a weird, slippery worm forever. I'd like to draw attention as well to the description of that video. Imagine, for 1 second, writing this about yourself. Gerald opens up not as a developer, but as a person. Discusses the issues behind the scenes of production. We cannot thank our supporters and fans for sticking with us. I mean, I think you mean cannot thank enough, but okay. Speaking of YouTube video descriptions, let me read you another from a video he uploaded a couple months after that. The title of the video is Game Developer Breaks Down, Opens Up About Fighting Nintendo to Bring New Games to the 3DS. He wrote, after thousands of hours of hard work, game dev faces huge resistance in getting a working version of his game published. Faced with a seemingly impossible reality, Gerald opens up about the turmoil and fight leading up to and following the launch of Silver Falls 3 Down Stars on new 3DS. Apologies for the disheveled, haggard look, but this is the face of a developer pushed past the point of exhaustion, yet still continues to work as hard as possible to pursue his dream of creating games for players around the world. And this is the best video I have seen from Sungrand Studios so far, by a mile. See, at this point, Gerald was still wrestling his broken piece of trash game. The few people who bought it were upset that it didn't work, and he was trying to defend himself. He starts by blaming his tools.
at some point you gotta stop and you've gotta be fair. And I'm working with using Unity, and I was promised a development kit that was fully featured and fully worked and would work the way it's supposed to on 3DS, and I was promised that, and there were issues with the development kit early on, and I was promised, oh yeah, okay, we'll fix that. Well, new versions of Unity 3DS kept rolling out, and there were stability issues, huge stability issues, and so a lot of my development for 3 Down Stars couldn't focus on developing the game. It was tearing down and rebuilding the entire game to avoid issues that I found with the development kit with Unity 3DS.
Was it Bruce Lee who said, "Fear not the dev who's made 100 games, but rather the dev who's made one game 100 times"? So he starts with, they promised me the tools would work, but they didn't, so I had to just remake it, and that's what ate all the time. That's why it doesn't seem like multiple years of work. He quickly moves on from this though and explains, actually, it's not that the tools are all messed up, it's that the bugs, they don't exist.
People have been reporting glitches and issues that do not exist in the game that I sent to Nintendo. I submitted a game, I worked my ass off, and that's just, there's no two ways around it. As soon as the game launched, I've been working 125 hours a week nonstop, and I've been putting my head down and being humble.
Yep, that's Gerald, that's what he's known for, being humble. He'll tell you 100 times every video. But did you catch that? The bugs don't exist in the version he sent to Nintendo. Gerald couldn't be a fuck-up. The issues have to be coming from somewhere else.
Well, I'm investigating issues that people are reporting and I'm trying to fix it, only to find out that those glitches and issues don't exist in what I sent to Nintendo, and I worked my ass off to try and fix this and make this game work, and what's being distributed has issues that are impossible. They are absolutely impossible in the work that I sent out to Nintendo. And you would look at that game and you would think, oh, it's broken. The person that made this clearly has no idea what they're doing because it's such a basic glitch or a crash.
Yeah, I would.
It's out of my control. I have no idea what is really happening in this situation.
I think that's probably true in a lot of situations, but he continues with this line of thinking.
I'm looking at my work and I'm saying, no, that can't happen because it's so simple. How do you miss issues like that? And how do you have a product that's so broken, almost as if you didn't test it at all?
That's impossible. I can't be retarded. It must be this retarded reality I've slipped into. It is at this point that Gerald begins to despair.
And I don't know what to do. And we're going to keep getting negative reviews, and we're going to get comment section in those reviews filled with negativity, and they're going to keep slamming the game and, you know, building an extremely negative reputation for the game. And the game is not selling. There are a lot of negative reviews and saying, oh, it's not worth it, don't buy this.
Sounds like a fair review to me, brother, based on what I've seen. Now, dear viewer, I have a challenge for you, a question. You just have a few seconds to think about this, to try to figure it out quickly. Where do you think his reasoning will go next? What do you think the truth he's figured out is? What will Gerald imply is the real reason these bugs are happening? 3, 2, 1, time's up. Let's get into it.
I believed Nintendo would support me in getting the game selling so I can support their hardware. And that's not what is happening. And it's clear that Nintendo wants gamers to move on to the Switch. And I'm trying to pick my words very carefully here, but to me it's clear they did not want me putting a new game on the 3DS.
I couldn't believe it the first time I heard it either. Our boy is implying, oh so smoothly, that Nintendo sabotaged his game because they were scared it would be so successful it would keep old hardware they want to die alive. And this is the moment, caught on tape, that Gerald Dulé snapped.
I sacrificed a lot to, sorry. I sacrificed my whole life to bring... Sorry. I've sacrificed my whole life to bring a game to the 3DS that I thought people would enjoy. And I've worked my ass off, and I thought I can handle it, I can take it. And I'll just be tough, and I'll make it work, and it's gonna be great.
Ultra Instinct Schizo Game Dev Level 3 has been unleashed before our very eyes.
And I did not expect that I gotta be careful with my words, but I didn't expect that Nintendo would go against me.
I did not expect a betrayal from the Big N. This man posted a psycho breakup video with Nintendo 5 years ago. I hope you understand this.
Nintendo doesn't care because I'm nobody. I'm a small indie developer. I'm an insect. And to me it matters a whole lot. And to the people in my life who are counting on me, it matters a whole lot. So to me it means everything. And to them, I don't exist.
Beautiful little sniff. Heart-wrenching. He was a nobody.
I'm an insect.
His games and professional reputation were in the toilet.
Right now, 3 Down Stars has a reputation of garbage shovelware.
And so Nintendo took him for granted, even stepped on him, on purpose. But now he's got that YouTube clout. He's bought a suit from AliExpress, and they'll have to pay attention.
Hello, Mr. Bowser. My name is Gerald Dulé. I develop games. In the past, I've worked as industry consultant, PR manager and liaison, event manager, and public speaker. I was hoping we could have a bit of a discussion today.
I was wrong. He is not just a deranged fanboy dreaming of a job. This man was raped by Nintendo and just wants them to acknowledge he exists. Acknowledge and soothe the pain they caused him 5 years ago. They destroyed his dreams, and now he needs them to fix it. Oh, and by the way, this video was originally going to have a different title, but it was already taken.